Greetings everyone, Brett here with Hammerhead Model Making, back with another 5-minute review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the 148 scale Academy F-4C Phantom. This is a kit that I've had my eye on for quite a while, and this particular kit was gifted to me by my friend Matt from Scale Model Canuck over on Instagram, so thank you Matt for this kind gift. And there are a lot of Phantom kits out right now, and there's a lot of modern Phantom kits out. We've got Academy, we've got Tamiya, we've got Zukimura. There's a number of them, and I think they all have their strengths and weaknesses. One of the things that I really like about this kit is the one-piece upper fuselage. There is an insert here for the spine, where you can see there's a little bit of like a seam line running around there, but that shouldn't be too difficult to take care of. Quick, sanding and that'll be gone. But overall, my impression of the Academy plastic so far is it looks pretty nice. The details are very fine, very delicate. There is a slight, I want to almost say it looks like a texture to the plastic, but I won't be sure 100% until we get some like primer on there, paint on there. But the rest of it all looks really nice. The interior details are really nice. This kit has a lot of different optional parts, so it definitely looks like it's designed to make multiple different variants of the F4, and I'm no expert by any stretch of the imagination on F4 variants, but there are quite a few options in this kit, both exterior options and internal options for the cockpit. There's lots of different cockpit options, and some of them are really subtle. Like the differences between these two sprues here, this is sprue M and N, the various cockpit details are very subtle. A few different like instruments and placements, things like that. But you do, like I said, you do get lots of options for the interior, for the exterior, for weapons and things like that, which is always nice. I'm always a big fan of options. And yeah, you'll also notice that the Academy kit comes molded in multiple different colors. Academy experimented doing this thing where you could, they were designing their kits so you could basically like build them unpainted, and you'd kind of have the basic idea of semblance of the colors, and you'd put the decals on and you'd call it good. Call it a gimmick if you want, but one of the byproducts of that is in their design process they left a lot of parts, like for example the back end here of the Phantom, as separate parts, which does make painting them a little bit easier in my opinion. They also did this with their 1/72nd scale Phantom as well, and it made painting, like especially the metallic areas on the Phantom, which are quite prominent, as separate parts, just makes the process a little bit easier. Multiple horizontal stabilizers here. Again, this kit appears to be designed for multiple different variants of the Phantom, so I'm sure there are other kits out there that have slightly different versions. Upper wings look really nice, lots of detail. You get rivet detail, panel line detail. Underside, lots of detail on the underside. The underside of a Phantom is a very busy area, and I think the kit represents that well. If I had to really pick out a complaint for this kit, it's so these are the speed brakes here. And when these are deployed, they're painted red, and they're quite prominent, quite eye-catching. And they've got some ejector pin marks. Same thing with the landing gear doors. They're quite prominent and in areas that are not easy to get to. So it's kind of a shame that if you want to have like the speed brakes open, for example, you're gonna have to take care of that in some way. You do get a ton of weapon options here. You get multiple different variants of the AIM-9 Sidewinder missile. The Sidewinder went through a lot of evolutions during the lifespan of the Phantom, so you've got lots of options. You get Sparrow options. You get ground ordnance, so you got Mark 82 here. You get multiple ejector racks, triple ejector racks, you get the wing tip, or like the wing drop tanks and the centerline drop tanks. You do get seated crew figures that have multiple hand poses and heads, so that's always nice. You also get a standing figure as well, standing pilot figure. It's unfortunate that the pilot figure is not more representative of the pilot Robin Olds, whose aircraft this kit represents, but I'm sure they're just trying to be somewhat generic. Also of note, this kit does come with the centerline gun pod, since this version of the F4 did not have an internal gun. just note that you can have that gun pot here. Clear parts look really nice in terms of their clarity, relatively distortion free. However, you will notice they do have a center line, so that's something you'll need to take care of. Sand and polish that out. But it's got a lot of nice rivet detail on the canopies. They look really crisp and sharp and clear. You get 2 decal sheets. The first decal sheet is just stencils, and as far as I can tell, these are just stencils for one aircraft. The Phantom is widely known for having an extraordinary amount of stencil data all over the aircraft. These decals are printed by Picardograph, so you are going to be getting some good decals. And then here's the actual specific markings for Robin Old's aircraft. I do not like the instructions. They are like the fold-out type. I find these ones frustrating and annoying. But I mean, in terms of the actual, step-by-step instructions, they seem pretty logical. Nothing extraordinary. You do get painting guide for the figures, which is kind of nice. You also get weapon placement guide here, so you have different options in terms of how you want to display your weapons. And then finally, you get your markings guide and paint reference guide here. Nice full color sheet. And yeah, you can see all the insane amount of stencils that go onto these aircraft. So yeah, I think it looks like a great kit. It's really unfortunate about some of those ejector pin markings. They're just in really bad places. But other than that, it looks nice. And this was definitely one that I will be excited to get onto my bench. And, hopefully sooner rather than later. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys all in the next video. Thank you to my patrons. The information is down below. Bye, everyone.